All right, guys. So we're gonna go ahead and go over the ingredients that we use today. So first things first, I buy most of my groceries at Walmart. So you're gonna be able to find all of these things all in one spot at Walmart. For our protein, we use the Jennie-O ground turkey. These are 16-ounce packages, so you can buy them, and they are in the frozen section where the regular turkey is. I buy 2 of them. It actually ends up being cheaper if you buy it in this package. There's 16 ounces, so there's 4 ounces obviously in each one. So I use 2 of these. This is 90% lean and 10% fat. Okay, so that's where we get some of our fat from. Also, it takes a lot of time to cut, obviously, your onions and your peppers. You can find this also in the frozen section in the vegetable aisle. It's about like less than $3, and they don't go bad. So I get this for our vegetables. Then I get these organic. These are about no more than $2 each package. Again, at Walmart, this is going to be your sweet potato. It's already cut up. And then your butternut squash. And I get 2 packages of those. Okay. The coconut oil, I use this instead of the vegetable, just olive oil, because we're going to go through the MyFitnessPal and how we're adding it in. But a tablespoon of olive oil is going to add 120 calories to any of your recipes. So we don't want to use any extra calories that we don't need to. This is going to be your tomato base, and I use a puree. We're actually not going to use all of it, but when we put it inside the MyFitnessPal, we'll talk about that. You can buy a smaller can, and I actually don't have one on hand, so we're going to use this big one that we use today. You can use any chili powder. I ended up getting this. I felt like maybe Jose would really like it because it said, and lemon. Not sure if he does. Hopefully he does, because he continues eating it. And then we use the ground cumin for flavor. Again, remember that when we cooked it, the base of the actual ground turkey also is a nice base for the chili. So what I'm going to do is show you how to put it in MyFitnessPal, and we're going to go to recipes. And when you add on recipes, you're going to enter here, you're going to enter ingredients manually. Okay, so we're going to name it whatever we want, really. So we're going to just call it Jose's chili. You can call it anything you want, whatever you refer to it. And I only say Jose's because I make his separate, because I do not like any spicy food. So for at this point in servings, this is where we're going to play around with it a little bit. So you're going to use, for now, you're going to use 5. Okay. When you get to 5, we'll play around what that looks like, and you'll see why. Okay. So now we're going to be able to add our ingredients. So the first ingredient is going to be, we're going to do that ground turkey. And the easiest way to do that would be with this, scanning it. So you're going to scan it, and it is going to come up. Okay, so one of the things that we want to look at is that the nutrition facts on this. So when you're looking at the nutrition facts, guys, notice that it says 4. You're getting 4 servings in here, right? And when you go to MyFitnessPal, we're going to come over here. It says serving size 4 ounces, but it said that there was 4 servings. So we need to add to that, and that's going to be a 4. But let's remember, we're using 2 of these packages, so it would be a total of 8. Okay, does that make sense? So you have 4 on this one, 4 servings of 4 ounces in one, and then you're going to have the other 4 ounces here. So we have a total of 8 4 ounces. So we're going to add that on. Okay, and let's just look at that real quick. So 0 carbs. That's one of your macronutrients, right, that we want to make sure that we're consuming. Our fat. So I think sometimes we underestimate turkey, but you have 72 grams of fat out of that, and it's going to be 160 grams of protein, right? So this is going to be one of those portions of your ingredients that it's going to include protein and fat, okay? Now we're going to add, because everything has a calorie, and I know a lot of the times we think it has 0. We're going to scan our onions and peppers, okay? And here our serving size is 1 cup, and servings per container is going to be 7. So there are 7 servings in there, right? So when MyFitnessPal scanned it, it said there is 1 serving, 1 cup. So we need to change that to 7, and we're going to add that. So now that's going to be that. Notice that that turns into a carb. Now there's some protein in it, but it's mostly going to be carb, okay? And on any vegetable is going to end up being your carb. We're going to continue scanning, okay? Then we have butternut squash. This we're going to do two containers. Now, this one I want you guys to be a little careful on, okay? Because it says one serving is 0.7 of a cup, right? What they mean here is one serving is 2/3 of a cup, okay? So there are 3 servings in each bag. You're going to want to write 6 because you're going to use 2 bags, right? So we're going to put 6 and then save, okay? And that is going to be your butternut squash. Again, that's your carb. There is some protein in it, so we're going to go ahead and add that on there. Okay. Now we're going to go to our sweet potato. Let's go ahead and scan that. And again, this has, on this label, we have 3 servings, right? So we have 2 bags, so we're going to do 6. So you're going to multiply total servings per bag, 3 times 2. We gets us to 6. Save. Okay, again, carbs, a little bit of protein, no fat. Okay, because those are your vegetables. Now I'm going to do the tomato puree. I'm going to end up using 1 cup when I'm doing the recipe, but let's go ahead and scan it. So this says 2 tablespoons, right? Because that's what it's automatically going to. I want to change that. I'm going to change that to 1 cup because that's how much I'm going to put into the recipe. So you can change it to whatever you're going to use, but for this recipe, we're only going to use 1 cup, and we're going to save that. Again, that's going to be your carbs, and we're going to add that on there. Okay. Then we're going to add our coconut oil. With the sprays, you're kind of guessing, but it is going to be based off seconds. So you're going to notice here it says like 1/4 of a second, and it equals 0. So this is one of those nutritional facts that sometimes people don't realize. It says it's 0 calories. I have 0. But the more you add, all of a sudden calories come up. So I'll show you how. So here on MyFitnessPal, this is 1 second of a spray, which would be 4 times this, right? So because there's 1/4 equals 0. 1 second, all of a sudden there's fat. Okay, so we're going to add 3. I'm going to spray for 3 seconds, and then that's going to be my 4.5 in fat. And this is just to make sure it doesn't stick at the bottom instead of olive oil. So far we have our ground turkey, our onions, our butternut squash, our sweet potatoes, tomato puree, a little bit of coconut oil just so it doesn't stick. I'm going to add the seasoning. Sometimes it makes a difference, sometimes it doesn't, but it's better to be safe than sorry. And this is actually very funny because the serving size is una cucharadita, which just means a small spoon in Spanish, right? But it all equals to 0, so I'm just going to add it on there because it really is a dash of that. And I'm going to add the ground cumin. Let's see where we can get that. And actually it does have a little bit on there. If you notice, there's a 0.9. But it says 1 milliliter. I'm going to go with 1 teaspoon as opposed to milliliters, and that just adds it. Okay, so these are all our ingredients, and if you notice at the bottom it says 5 servings of 490 calories. This is a meal that Jose would probably be okay with to have for lunch. As opposed to myself, my calorie intake is a lot lower than Jose's. I may not want to have 5 servings at 490 calories. I may want to separate that into 7 servings. So you can change that. And the way you do that is, actually we're going to close that out. You're going to add it, and then you can change this. Let's say I wanted 7 servings. It'll change the calories, and it should say done. And we just said that 7 servings would be 350 calories. And I'll show you at the end how we're going to measure that out, but this is how you're going to do on MyFitnessPal. But let's make sure that this is going to be zone, right? So let's go back to today's date, let's say. And we're using Jose's MyFitnessPal, by the way. So let's say we use a lunch, right? I'm going to go under recipes, and I just said Jose's chili, right? So this is all the numbers. I personally do not know at looking at numbers and just saying magically, wow, we're at zone. I don't know that. So the way I'm going to do this, I'm going to add it, And then I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to go to nutrition. And notice that it's 41% carbs, 30% protein, and 28% fat. That is a pretty awesome meal there. You can add maybe a spray of a little bit more coconut oil to get you to that perfect 40, 30, 30. But now you have a meal that you know is going to be zone every time. So once you find those magical meals that you can create, you can continue using them. And know that you save them under recipe. Call it something that you know. Coincidentally, it will tell you it's high in protein. So that's one of the ways we're going to do the recipes, doing it that way. At the end, I will also show you how are you going to know that you can get 5 or 7 servings. And we'll go ahead and measure that out with the scale, okay? All right, guys, till the next video. Have a great day.